welcome. My name is Lena. I'm the founder of Go Running Tours, and I do these interview series with our guides all around the world. And today I'm joined by Andrew in Washington, D.C. So thank you, Andrew. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you.
Uh, Feel free to just introduce yourself.
I'm Andrew Falk, Go Running Guide in Washington, D.C. Started this summer and been running didn't run as a kid, but as an adult, I've started running, and it's been a great challenge and great way to be competitive, and also just particularly now, getting the opportunity to meet new people, and it's been a social component as well, which has been really fun. And yeah, just a lot of opportunities after starting running, which has been great.
Fantastic, excellent. And I know we'll talk about the tours because you've obviously already done some tours in Washington and gotten great reviews, so well done. But before we sort of go into the tours, I'd love to know a little bit more about your running. I think you're um, um, and you're talking a little bit about your running, but I know also in your pastime you have a community where you run with people that survive cancer and so on. So you're very involved in the local community. So tell me a little bit more sort of just about running, Andrew, and sort of your involvement locally as well.
Yeah, thanks. Had a couple recent new running groups I've joined. One is a local running club that I'm sure, like a lot of cities, we have a handful in the area, and this one is a big one that serves a lot of the local runners with local meetup runs as well as races, and just a neat community. I also then joined their racing team, so nothing too different other than getting my own cool singlet that I get to race with and be part of the team. Um, and that's just fun because running can be a fun kind of individual event, a time for reflection or just pushing yourself or doing anything independently. So having the chance to now do it with more people and have a more social component's been really rewarding as well. The Ullman Cancer to 5K group helps survivors um, do their first 5K or get back into running after going through chemo treatments. So they have a program where runners train as they would, um, kind of getting back into running, or to get just their first experience running longer distances. So in that case, we were just meeting up, and just it's just the same kind of wherever you're running, you're always just with people and chatting with them and supporting them, and so that's been really fun as well too. We we did 12-week program culminating in a race it was a park run, um, but it was really cool to have that event and be there with everybody on race day. So we'll be doing it again next spring for another 12-week program leading up to race day. So it's a real neat community.
That's fantastic. Is it just for survivors or is it also for their families?
Yeah, it's for everyone. So there are people. My partner um, went through chemo, and still has treatments she does. She's cancer free. Um, so she wasn't. She was still, even though she was doing chemo, she was working more as a training partner than as a participant, because she and I both have done a lot of training, and so we joined them just for support. Obviously, it's fulfilling for us to have people to run with as well. But yeah, you're there, kind of supporting them in with different people in groups, kind of walk running as you progress to longer distances with shorter breaks. So it's open to, yes, a lot of family members, people who have run before but haven't done it recently, or people who need a little more training just because of the taxing nature of going through the infusions with their chemo treatments. So, but very, very cool experience.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, well done. Your wife or your partner sounds like a bit of a superwoman
Uh,
as well
definitely,
doing.
yeah.
But it must be very rewarding being part of that community. Um, Excellent. So, and then moving over a little bit more about sort of the running tours. I want to actually first ask you, how was your first running tour? Because usually when I speak to guides, they've been part of the company for some years, and their first running tour sort of maybe don't stand out that much. But yours was recently. So first I want to hear, how was the first running tour? Were you super nervous? And tell me about it.
Yeah, plenty of nerves the first day. And fortunately, knew the route, did all my research, and was confident in the running itself, but still just that those first day jitters were there. And it, all of the people I've ran with have been great. Certainly, um, the first woman I ran with made it really easy. And I told her partway along, by the way, this is my first tour. Not immediately, but it's also kind of cool. The first experience, similar to other ones, where you're just like, it's like this platonic blind running date where it's like, who am I meeting? I'll be the one in the red shirt, and you'll be the other sporty person outside your hotel. So it's kind of fun to, every time meeting someone new from a different part of the country or world, and but we all share an interest in running, so that kind of makes it easy to connect, and certainly going around the city in a pretty location early in the morning, it's fun for them, and it's fun for me because I'm not necessarily starting my runs downtown at 6 in the morning, but when we do it on a tour, it's special.
Yeah, I completely agree. You get sort of this continuous appreciation of of your city when you do these morning tours, right? And even though it might be the 50th amazing sunrise that you have in your city, you just still think this is bloody amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Is there anything? One thing that I asked the other guide is sort of, is there anything sort of memorable that stand out from the running tours, either from the guests or from the tours? Did something happen? I know you've done not super many, but you've done some tours already. I don't know if anything stands out yet.
Just the commonality of running, and just meeting somebody new, and then still having like a bond because we share an interest in running. Um, it's kind of cool that there could be a lot of things different in our worlds. They can be traveling across the Atlantic, landing here, unfamiliar with the city. Our worlds are probably pretty different on a day to day, but we have this easy bond when it comes to going on a run together. So it's a fun way to meet somebody new, and bond with them in doing something we both enjoy. So that's been special. And yeah, I think I still find, not still, it hasn't been that long, but the city is charming to me, and certainly seeing their appreciation of it, maybe for the first time, is cool as well. Because we'll turn the corner and have this big view of the water with the sun rising, and the monuments glistening, and it's like, yeah, this is cool, and they appreciate that. And not something you get to do on a lot of runs is see something new and have a fun experience where the sites are all kind of engaging as it is. So
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Cool. Excellent. And then sort of when we talked a little bit about the running and so on. Of course, you mentioned that people travel to Washington, and they go and see the sites and so on. But as a local, is there anything that people or most travelers don't do, or even locals may not know that should be doing? Is there anything you would say if you come to Washington, this is a thing to do that people usually don't know that they should be doing?
regarding running or just in general?
Just in general.
There's certainly people know about our downtown area. That's the most popular tourist destination. And getting to see it all on a run is great. There's some great parks. We have like more wooded trails that can be a nice reprieve from the bustle of downtown, and you can kind of experience this on a run. You can also just take a nice walk there. We love taking our dogs into the woods and letting them explore as well. And it's just a nice contrast from the kind of busy city life to be in the woods and feel like you're nowhere near an urban area. And there's our national zoo is connected to the park, so you could kind of incorporate those two. A lot of the museums in DC are all free, so it's hard to turn down visiting some of these places because they're so available, including the zoo. And then just maybe, since the downtown area and the mall and the monuments and museums are so popular, visiting some of the neighborhoods, finding some good local eats. There's a lot of great restaurants here too. So all worthy of visits for locals or visitors.
Excellent. What would be your number one recommendation for a restaurant?
Um,
Or
well,
top two if it's hard to
yeah,
choose.
I mean, I'll shout out our one of our city's more famous chefs, Jose Andres, who's done a lot of work with kind of internationally through World Central Kitchen, feeding, going to areas that are in crisis after a disaster, and feeding thousands, tens of thousands of people immediately after disaster strikes. That said, his restaurants are here, and there's several. His first is a Spanish tapas restaurant, Jaleo, but there's many concepts that are all exquisite. So shout out to Jose Andres if you want to check out any of his restaurants. You won't regret it.
Fantastic. Hereby given or passed on to whoever's listening. Excellent. And then the last question is now going back to running and not the running tours, but what would your one advice be to runners? So it doesn't matter if it's for beginners or elite runners or ultra runners or 5Kers, whatever it takes. Is there one advice that you would give runners, being a runner yourself?
Yeah, it could be maybe a little different for each person. Certainly there were times where I was running and, doing more running is a great way to get better. But if you're so gung ho that you're like, more, I'm gonna do more, I'm gonna do more. I did more, I got faster, I did more, I ran more. For someone like myself, or in that instance, I might say, take it easy too. Find the easy runs, mix in walking, and for the person who is doing a little, I would say, run more, but try, I guess in that case, do it with balance. So if your balance is running just a little bit a few times a week, try to balance out those easy runs with a little more longer runs, and occasionally harder efforts, or sign up for a 5K and really push yourself. But if you're already doing a lot of strenuous runs, try to balance it with more easy efforts, and it's you can get better by doing more, but you can also overtrain and get an injury. So just trying to challenge yourself, but also not overdo it. Just kind of enjoy it and enjoy the process, and that's kind of been one way I've found to run more and avoid some of the injuries that can happen when you're running more too.
Yeah. So that's something that you do and keep in mind all the time, keeping the balance and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. At first, you kind of are, when you start running, the things you're practicing are things you've learned or heard or read. But after you've done it for a while, you can base it off of the things you've experienced and kind of go with what works for you. So sometimes early on, it's just, this is what I've heard, this is what I've read, so I'll do it this way. And then after you've done a little bit more, you kind of know a little bit more personally what works for you and what can keep you healthy while running. So it's a balance, but it's you certainly can run and stay healthy, and just really rewarding in the process.
Yeah. I totally agree. I think also sometimes there's a switch, right? Sometimes it's you go through a phase where there's a lot of focus on sort of a certain race or something, speed or whatever it is, and other times it's like I just want to run. I just want to go out and just relax and do my running, and that's it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. All right. I don't have any other questions. Do you have anything you want to add, Andrew, that you feel that I haven't touched upon?
Yeah, no, just really enjoyed joining the Go Running Tour family, and it's been really fun so far, and thinking about some of the future tours and planning for those. We really enjoyed kind of taking out the tripod camera and setting it up and taking pictures around the city, and being a little more, it was that was sort of, sometimes running, you think it's all just this physical component, but the creative part of taking pictures and writing tours was all fulfilling as well. So kind of enjoyed the whole process so far.
Excellent. Really good. Really good. I must admit, I must say as well that your pictures are great, and the tours are really good, and you got your things done super quick. So that was excellent. Cool. I have nothing else. Andrew, thank you for joining the call, taking the time, sharing your sort of your knowledge and also your experience. And of course, anyone who wants to would like to go running in Washington, then Andrew is there to sort of lead the way. But thanks, Andrew, and thank you for being part of it.
Yeah, thank you, Lena. Appreciate it.
Gotta go.